I'm reviewing every MCU movie and TV show in chronological order until Avengers Doomsday is released, and this week we're watching Iron Man 3. Now, there's no easy way to phrase this, but Iron Man 3 sucked. So after the events of Avengers and the invasion of Loki and the Chitauri in New York, Tony Stark is left with a bunch of unanswered questions and a little bit of PTSD. And this film kind of takes off where basically all the other Iron Mans take off. It's kind of following up on the demons that were created from the past, whether it was from Tony directly or his father, but this one kind of comes about with pre-cave Tony. You see Yinsen is in this movie just for a short period of time. But yeah, that's basically it. That's what this movie is about. It's what all Iron Mans are about. So there's this terrorist organization called the 10 Rings, and they're basically stirring shit up, causing havoc, and Tony has to bring an end to them, and he kind of runs into some explosive enemies. Long story short, Tony has created his own enemies once again, and he has to put an end to their evil ways. Now, given that intro that I did, there are some things that I did like about this movie. The suits were really cool. I can't take that away. And when you're watching an Iron Man movie, that's one thing that you are gonna see is a cool suit up. And in this movie, they really spoiled you with the different variations that you got. As far as performances go, I can say that Robert Downey Jr. did a great job, again, being Iron Man. He's gotten quite a bit of fucking practice so far. Really, what he portrays well in this movie is the anxiety attacks that he has throughout the film. If you've ever had an anxiety attack, it feels like you're in a box and it keeps getting smaller and smaller and there's nowhere to run, but you want to run. And I felt like he portrayed that really well in this movie. It got to a point where I'm watching it and I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable. So needless to say, he did a great job. But I think the true highlight of this movie, who gave the best performance and had the best story overall, was Rhodey. I think that they used his character really well. He was a badass without the suit, with the suit, and I feel like he had a bigger purpose in this movie than, previous. To the point where I wish that this was a War Machine movie. I liked Rhodey that much, and I think he deserved his shot at the spotlight. But again, unfortunately, I hated this movie, and here's why. Now, I know I said that there's a lot of different variations of the Iron Man suit in this movie and that I really like them, but they chose to put Tony Stark in the ugliest one. I hate the Mark 42. I hate it. To me, it sucks. I think the color is too much gold. Red is in the wrong places and it's tiny. It's a tiny amount, but it somehow annoys the hell out of me. I just don't know why they went with this suit particularly. And even the way that the suit functions, I don't like it. I don't like that it breaks off in pieces or comes to him in pieces like that. It's just a dumb suit. Let's be frank here. Let me know what you guys think, but that's my personal opinion. Now, this was like the same issue that I had in the Avengers. Tony isn't moving how I would expect Tony to move in this movie. I just feel like he got dumber in a sense. What the hell are you doing threatening a terrorist, but not really threatening him by, you're giving him your address? What the hell? How is that smart? And then it begs the question, towards the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he has all his suits show up to take on the 10 Rings and the Mandarin. Why the hell didn't you have those things on standby at the crib? Why did you not have that just ready to take out those helicopters that were shooting fucking missiles in your living room? How come you didn't have those guys ready, but you're in the one suit that doesn't have any, weapons on it? Why would you do that? That's dumb. Next, the villains were in it. I didn't like the Mandarin. I think that shit was whack. I did not like it. The twists that they had for the Mandarin, I remember sitting in theaters thinking, what the fuck? Why did they do this? He was intimidating, throughout the whole movie, and then you find out it's an actor. Come on. I thought that was a dumb switch. I thought it was just lazy and whack, and it didn't have the shock that I think that they were going for me at least. And again, this is where I say this should have just been a War Machine movie. Rhodey, I feel like he makes more sense in this kind of movie where, he's protecting the president, because this gets into political, this has political ties to it basically. It goes all the way to the highest office, right? And Rhodey is a soldier. He's actually like, you know, the dude that's supposed to be protecting the president. It just makes more sense if maybe this was his movie rather than Iron Man, rather than Tony Stark, I should say. Now, last but not least, the ending was garbage. Okay, so we're just blowing up suits now. Like, they're not worth over $1 billion just in one suit. We're just blowing them up. It's Christmas time, we're blowing up suits. What are you doing? Did you not learn one thing from this movie? You know, I hate those shorts where they always say, because Tony always learns from his mistakes. Shut up. No, this was dumb. This was just like purely stupid, you know, and I don't know, this felt like it was a little kid's movie. I just felt like that ending was way too like childish to, you know, for me. I didn't like it. The reason why I say Iron Man 3 sucks because this movie should have been a lot better than what we got. If this movie was about Tony Stark's PTSD after New York and his fear of, you know, the unknown coming to attack Earth and his need to find a solution to that, to the extraterrestrial enemy problem, that would have been more, you know, I felt appropriate for this third movie. Rather than going back into the past of, you know, Aldrich Killian and whatever the hell he wanted to do because he fucking left him on a rooftop and he's acting like a you know, whatever. Like, to me, that's just lazy. You know, he's acting like he's a girl that got left at prom. All right, chill out. But if this was about Tony pursuing something to protect the world, this makes a whole lot of sense to introduce Ultron, and that would have been a lot more interesting. I know that we get that down the line, but think about how that would have played out as Iron Man's third movie. It makes a whole lot of sense when you really sit and think about it. And overall, it would have just made for a great story. Now, basically, Tony created his equal, but maybe something even greater than him, and he has to beat it somehow. That's interesting. What we got was not interesting. It was just lazy, and it felt like they needed to put out a third movie. Parents, if you're watching this, you might be wondering, well, this movie sounds like it sucked, but was it appropriate for kids? And yeah, somewhat, it was. I'm not gonna say that you can't watch this with them. Obviously, the suits are really cool, and they even have a child character in this one that helps Tony get back on his feet and, you know, save the day. It is fun, I guess, in that sense. If you're not looking at it from an actual fan standpoint, somebody that saw the previous movies and wanted to see how it follows up afterward, after all these crazy events, you'll probably like this movie. I mean, there's some language in there. There's, you know, Tony calls this kid a pussy. It's whatever. I know I usually go over what you could take away from this movie, but honestly, I didn't like this movie that much, and I don't really recommend it. So it is what it is. This was almost as bad as Captain Marvel. What the hell were you guys doing? Speaking of Captain Marvel and rankings, where do we rank Iron Man 3? You got lucky. You know, this was a D tier. This is just one above Captain Marvel. You know, this movie was trash. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. It felt rushed at times. It felt like it didn't know what direction it wanted to go. I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I don't want to watch it again. I damn near want to just, again, pretend it doesn't exist. Just skip it. But at the end of the day, let me know what you guys think.
No need to be a pussy about it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you want more Marvel reviews like this one, please subscribe to the channel. And hey, am I tripping? Do you guys think Iron Man 3 was good? Or was it just as bad as Captain Marvel? Should I have ranked it lower? Let me know.